Hi everyone, Cody here. It's time to work on the bees again. This hive right here, there's currently no living bees inside of it, except for maybe some bees that are scavenging the extra honey. In about 2 weeks I'm going to be getting some more bees, and I definitely want to put some bees into this hive because this is a really good hive. The bees seem to really like it. Unfortunately, the bees I had in here last year, looks like they died due to mites. Yeah, see? Little pile of dead bees right here. And what the mites do is they make the bees sick, and so the bees start leaving the hive down to the point where there's just not enough bees to keep warm anymore. So the objective of today is to remove all the old comb. We can put the bees in here, they can build it all fresh and new. So we got all the combs out of the hive. You can see them here. I kind of kept them in order so you could see the difference between the combs at the front of the hive versus the back. See, the front of the hive, this is where you get the most traffic from the bees. So the bees track in like dirt on their little feet, and it sticks to the wax and makes it darker in color. Also, the bees actually raise their young up here in the front, and the cocoons are like paper. And you can see it's kind of papery here. See that? And the paper is a dark color, the cocoons that the little bees develop into. And you can actually kind of see like multiple layers of these cocoons. Eventually these cells would actually get very, very thick and strong as these layers of paper build up. But anyway, towards the back of the hive, you'll notice that the frames are much lighter. And this is because they just stored honey here. And also there's less traffic, but the honey, of course, doesn't have paper cocoons, which are dark in color. You see this back frame's almost pure white. Another thing you'll notice is the cell size, like the size of the hexagons, is much larger back here than it is up in the front of the hive. You want to save time and wax materials for storing the honey. You know, they want to produce as much storage space as possible for the least amount of material, so they make them bigger. All right, so I think what I'm going to do with this stack of stuff is everything up to this knife I'm basically just going to throw away. It's really not worth my time and effort to extract the wax from it, because you basically have wax and paper. It's more paper than wax at this point, and it's really difficult to get the wax out of the paper. But this stuff here that just had the honey in it, I could just crush this and melt it down and make it straight into candles or whatever. Yeah, I'm just scraping off all the propolis and wax that's taped to the side here. All right, this hive is pretty much ready for some bees. I might want to put like a backer board here because I don't have enough frames to fill this, or I guess I could just make some more frames. But there we go. It's ready for some bees, and I'll be putting them in about next week. No, 2 weeks from now. And I guess I got a couple more hives I need to clean out, actually. You know, the wind is really the worst thing that could happen today. I'd rather put bees in boxes while it was snowing. But I guess snowing and windy would be worse. But if the wind's too bad, I might actually just voice over this whole part of the video. But anyway, what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning up the hive, doing some final things before I put the bees in. That wasn't supposed to go in there. Now this is the box that I built during episode 2 of my beekeeping series. And I've also got these homemade frames here, which are just pieces of wood that the bees build comb onto. Now, the only problem with this is I've made these the same size as the commercial frames, but the bee box is not quite. You see, it's got a little space underneath. And this isn't actually super good for the bees. So what I might actually do is remove these sidebars and just turn this into a top bar hive. Of course, I could put the commercial frames in here. They'll fit, they're the right width, but the bees will just build down underneath of them. And see, now the bees can just build all the way to the floor of the hive. Very nice. And these frames are just a little bit too small, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to like add a little bit of space between them. And that should be about right for them. Anyway, I'm going to put the rest of these in place. Let's go get the bees.
Okay, here you go, Cody.
Thank you. lot of bees. Each of these packages has roughly 13,000 bees in them. So here's our 3-pound box of bees. I'm going to spray them a little bit of sugar water. You can already tell that they stopped buzzing around quite so vigorously, because now they're busy licking themselves clean. It's probably rather tasty because I put a little bit of lemongrass oil in there. Let's turn it around. Get the other side here. Let's pull this feeder jar out of there. Let's pull the queen out, make sure she's doing good. Looks like she's got some comb in the cage. I look how docile these bees are right now. Here's the cork. There we go. There's the queen. She looks good. I'm going to pull that cork out of there. Put her into the hive. So I got a little bit of sugar here, which is basically powdered sugar and honey mixed together into kind of a dough. There. Just a little something to keep her in there for now. Spray this all over here. Alright. Now, the queen's over there. I'm just going to dump the bees right in the floor of the hive, and they should form a big ball right around the queen soon after I close it up. And then they'll start building comb and making their nest. There's most of the bees out. Now I can actually just put this right here. And they'll find their way over eventually. So I got a frame of honey right here. This is from a healthy hive on the property, so it shouldn't cause them any trouble. Be a nice way to feed them. So they'll just eat this up, use that as a food source while they're building the colony. I'm going to put that on the end. That'll also cap them so that they don't try to go into this area. On to the next hive.
What are you doing that for?
I need some sticks. You see, I don't have a frame of honey that'll fit in here, so I'm going to set this feeder can on top of those sticks there.
Oh, okay.
That way they still got food. It'll only last them a few more days, but it's a good it'll at least get them something in case it rains. They're not able to go forage. See the queen? We have a queen. You see her in there? Excellent. Where'd that candy go? You got it? Cool.
So what is that plug made of?
That's just cork. The bees can't chew through cork, so they plug her in with that. And then I'm going to replace it with something they can actually chew through. You notice this is very thin. That'll only take them maybe an hour to get through that. 3 pounds of honeybees. Look at that. Normally I get the 2-pound boxes, but all they had was the 3-pound boxes. A little bit more expensive, but can't hurt to have a few extra bees, could it? There they are. There's the twins all set up. Just in time too, because it started raining. I've got one more box, and I think I'm actually going to sacrifice it to help build up that colony that survived the winter. Give them some more bees so they'd be better at making queens. I'm going to put the queen in this box here just to store her, along with a few bees to keep her happy. And by a few I mean about 5,000. Yeah, that's funny. Alright, the rest of these are going to go into that box. I am now recording.
Ooh, you got glasses on.
My face. Sticky bee or happy bee, right? See how they react to them. Yeah, I think they're good. Lemongrass oil probably definitely really helps. So I'll make sure to soak them really good. Assuming I get enough this lemongrass on them, they won't know which bee came from which hive. Okay, let's pause for a second, make sure they're not freaking out. Oh yeah, they're septing them like normal. Licking them clean. It's non-aggressive. Let's put it in there. Oh yeah, this hive is going to have so many bees. Probably going to make queen cells by next week. It just crashed into you.
I know. I bet that was a startle for both of us.
So the bees are in their hives and looks like they're doing pretty good. They're flying around, getting used to the environment. Looks like they're going to accept these boxes. Now, that hive over there that I dumped the extra bees into, the idea with that is to boost that hive up, get it as strong as possible, so that they'll be wanting to make queens. And they'll be able to, produce lots and lots of royal jelly, because I want to take queens from that hive and requeen all of these with those genetics. That should give me a much better chance of actually having hives survive the winter. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.